Good evening, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you for the last time of the 2021-22 regular season to Mustang Arena for JV basketball competition. Thanks for your patience. We had a little mix-up with the officials' assigner's office, and so we're a little bit late getting started. We're going to be using shorter quarters for the JV game to try to catch up some of that time, but please welcome our guests from Leesburg High School. They are the Jackets. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting for the Jackets, number 1, Jermaine Garter. Number 4, Christopher Jones. Number 5, Nathan Allen. Number 15, Jaden Mickens. And number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre for the Mustangs. Number 0, Tyler Danke. Number 1, Solomon Georges. Number 3, Juju Johnson. Number 10, DJ Joyner. And number 15, Emmanuel Longchamp. Today's games, as well as the senior night ceremony, are being broadcast on YouTube as well as the NFHS network. If you have friends or family who are not able to join us in person today, and you would like to send them a link so they can follow along, just tell them to open up the YouTube app on their favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device, and search for Wekiva Sports. We are also simulcasting on NFHS network, and when we get to the varsity game, we will also be on the Daytona area channel for varsitysportsnetwork.org. So 3 different places you can get the live streams for tonight's game. Just remember that each of the 3 events on YouTube and NFHS Network are separate live streams. Same channel, but a different stream. So we'll have the JV game, the senior night ceremony, and the varsity stream on separate sources. And again, a warm welcome to those of you joining us online. And we want to thank the officials who responded on short notice. We had, like I said, a little miscommunication with the official assigner's office. We initially believed that, we had it down as a doubleheader, JV and varsity. Somehow that got lost in translation. The official's office had it down as varsity only, so they did not assign any officials for the JV game, but a couple of them were willing to show up early anyway. As soon as we called them and let them know that we were in need. And so we are getting set to go here. We're going to use 5-minute quarters until we catch up. We'll do a 3-minute halftime, and hopefully that'll get us close to being on schedule as we move into our senior night festivities and our varsity game coming up later tonight. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School. I'm joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and we will be taking you through this final game of the regular season here in Season 15. Neil and I have had the pleasure of announcing Wekiva Sports all 15 years, and we're going to wrap up the 15th right now tonight.
So we're about to go. Once again, Leesburg in the black jerseys, Wekiva in the white jerseys. And of course, if you're not familiar with high school basketball among the state of Florida, as the ball is tipped off and Leesburg wins it. Leesburg is a traditional perennial state championship power. They've won 3 state championships. So certainly this is going to be an interesting night. Quick note on the varsity team. They had a rough start, losing their first 3 games. However, they are now 15-6. So that's more information for the varsity. But we warm up with the JV, and no dice. Rejection on that first attempt from Leesburg. And the interception back the other way. And, well, as Mark likes to say, one good turnover deserves another. Still no score. Once again, 5-minute quarters due to the unusual situation. And score the deuce on the floater for Longchamp.
Emmanuel Longchamp puts the Mustangs on the board.
So a 2-0 lead for Wekiva. First lead. And, again, brought up the fact that the varsity team, they're the perennial state championship contender, as second turnover took the eyes off the ball. That was Allen.
Backcourt violation. Mustangs ball.
But, of course, JV is where those varsity players develop the skills which eventually lead to those state championships. As we drop under 4 minutes. Wekiva going back to work with the 2-0 lead. Out to Johnson, who launches and finds the range.
Juju Johnson for 3.
Interception for Longchamp. fakes the shot, turns around, and drops in the deuce from 6
Emmanuel
points.
Longchamp, 2 more.
So Wekiva off to a rough start. First possession, they turned the ball over, and now 6 consecutive points, and turning the tables on Leesburg, so to speak, forcing 3 turnovers. 6-0, 3:23 remaining, first quarter from Mustang Arena. Wekiva off to a 6-0 lead against Leesburg. Leesburg with possession. This is junior varsity action from Mustang Arena. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi with you on this Tuesday night. And Wekiva will not have the opportunity to get that lead up to 9-0 as the ball remains with Leesburg. So 3 consecutive turnovers for Leesburg, allowing some easy shots for Wekiva, and they've taken advantage. As now Leesburg goes to work, their longest possession in terms of time and contact along the baseline.
Emmanuel Longchamp is called on his first personal foul. It's the team's first. That will send the Jackets to the line. Nathan Allen shooting 2.
So again, Leesburg looking for its first points of the game in this junior varsity matchup.
First is short. Still a 7-0 ball game for the Mustangs. Of course, coming up immediately after the conclusion of the JV game, we have 2 seniors in the class of 2022 we'll be recognizing, Jamara Hammond and Pete Lewis, as the second one falls for Allen. And then we'll get on to our varsity game, the last of the regular season. And, Neil, that means that you and I could be signing off for the last time of the 2021-2022 school year, at least when it comes to basketball. But we certainly hope that's not true. Both the boys and the girls have a realistic shot of earning some playoff games. I think the girls are probably a state favorite.
Yeah. And speaking of the boys, again, this is varsity as the scoop pass out to Dan Key.
Longchamp to Tyler Danke for 2.
The boys, really both these teams, varsity teams we'll see after this game, trending in the right direction. Both had a rough or rocky start, if you prefer, to the season. And they came in with some pretty impressive winning streaks. Unfortunately, they were broken in their last time out. So both these teams trying to rebound, refine that magic, if you will, the touch. But Wekiva specifically has gone from the mid-40s in the Max Prep rankings for Class 6A all the way to 19 with their recent success as Longchamp drives that lane. No dice, but doing Windex work is Dan Keys. Give him the bucket.
Tyler Danke on the Mustangs putback. 4 points for him tonight as we dip under 2 minutes here.
And Wekiva off to a very strong start shooting the ball. But before we go there, give the deuce to Gardner.
Nathan Allen picks up 2 for the
Allen.
Jackets.
5 of 7 for Wekiva from the field so far. And now the turnover, Leesburg with a chance to cut into that 11-3 lead. And they will not have any success, nothing but air. So
Andrew Riley and Demir Simon coming into the game for the first time for Wekiva.
And Leesburg now with only 4 shots, 1 of 4 from the field. So as I like to say, as the ball goes inside out, back to Longchamp. He looks, launches, and scrapping, grabbing that ball. Nice Windex work for Jean-Pierre, the big man. You don't have to be a basketball guru to understand the more shots you take, the more likely you're going to score points. And right now, only 4 for Leesburg compared to 8 for Wekiva, so 2-1 margin. And they'll make up some of that ground. Connecting.
3 for Jermaine Gardner. Under a minute to go here in the first now.
11-6 lead for Wekiva. They've led throughout, scoring on their second possession. Got the lead to as many as 6, now back down to 5. And you're going to go inside to Joyner, who spins off the rim, clanks off, loose ball, held ball.
Nope, it's going to be a travel call.
Oh, a travel call.
Jackets rebounded the ball and then were called for traveling. Mustangs ball.
So certainly you feel bad for Leesburg, and in particular Jean Pierre. Good hustle, but does not work out the way that it should on that turnover. But Wekiva maintains possession.
Out of bounds, Jackets ball. So the second try even less successful than the first as the Mustangs lose possession there, and it looks like the Jackets will most likely have the last word of the first quarter.
Yeah, some misconfusion, but Leesburg maintains possession. 4 seconds to work with. 3, 2, 1. Got to get the shot off. The spin and the attack, and no dice. Allen taking the last shot, and when all said and done, Wekiva with that 6-0 lead to start the game. That's been the difference as we head into the second quarter from Mustang Arena. Well, actually, there was a foul. So Allen will go to the line with an opportunity to cut that lead. But once again, the difference right now is the first 6 points scored by Wekiva. And so 1 of 2 at the free throw line. That'll cut the lead to 4 as we head into the second period.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher as we are wasting no time getting things underway for the second quarter.
A very late start for this game. Some confusion among the schedule for referees. And that is number 3, no dice. And coming back the other way, Wekiva's starting to cool off now somewhat. At the other end, Leesburg still unable to find the range, but they are picking up those rebounds. They got 2 opportunities there. And so Wekiva maintains that 4-point lead. Opportunity for Leesburg to cut into that lead with the turnover at the other way and score the bucket for Jones. Nice floater from 6 feet.
Christopher Jones adds 2 for the Jackets.
So Jones drops in his first points of the game, cuts the lead down to 1 possession, 2 points. 6 consecutive points for Leesburg, and now an opportunity to increase that lead. No, it will not be. Well, yes, they will keep that opportunity, but not nearly quite as clean and not able to get into transition as quickly.
Held ball, possession Jackets.
11-9 is the lead. Wekiva scored the first 6 points. And Leesburg now on a 6-0 run as Coach Hardy tells his team to go to a full court trap, pays dividends. Snagging that ball is Denke. Back to Georges. Down low to Griffin. And now loose ball. Riley chases it down. And so the Leesburg defense has gotten much more aggressive since that 6-0 start for Wekiva.
Foul called against Jackets number 15, Jaden Mickens. That's his first and the team's first as well. 3:27 to go here as the Jackets have closed it to a one-possession game. Mustangs have it under the basket, and there it is. Tyler Danke adds 2 for Wekiva.
So that'll get the lead back up to 4 points. And the full court trap continues. Leesburg breaks it this time. And there's the high-risk side of going to the full court trap. Whacked. And the foul called. It's not a shooting foul.
No, it wasn't a foul at all. That was a clean deflection.
Okay. Jean-Pierre unable to drop the deuce, and picking up that loose ball is Riley. So give Wekiva credit for the defensive rebound and give him a credit for a turnover on the other end, and Leesburg trying to take advantage. Slides off that rim. So Wekiva dodges the proverbial bullet. They come down the other way, and they will draw the foul. Contact.
Salomon George is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre, his first. And the team's second. Emmanuel Longchamp returns to the game for Wekiva. And correction, that was a foul on the floor, so it'll be Mustangs ball at the opposing baseline.
So Georges will look to inbound the ball, does so to Longchamp. Spinning, one-on-one coverage. Griffin rips down the rebound but can't hold it. And possession will remain with Wekiva.
Held ball, possession, Mustangs.
A 13-9 lead for Wekiva. And they'll go back to work. Pretty play. The pass in the bank from Griffin. So that'll get the lead back up to 6 points. 2 possessions, 15-9. 2.5 before halftime. Quick passing to break the trap. And still no dice. As we come back the other way. And again, Leesburg much more aggressive on the defensive end, has certainly picked up as we've gone into this game. But their problem, Leesburg unable to convert on those field goals. Here's an easy one, and score the deuce, give the withdrawal to Allen. Leesburg yet to get over 30% from the field, and this will at least help in terms of them getting the opportunity. 7th turnover for Wekiva. And so Leesburg will go to work. They have 4-point difference. The drive, the kick out, the launch from Mickens, no dice. Actually, excuse me, that was Gardner taking the tray. And ball, loose ball, hot potato. And ball eventually goes out of bounds, and we're going to get a foul, actually. That's going to be on Longchamp.
No, other way. Foul called against Jaden Mickens. That's his second personal foul, the team's third. Mustangs ball at their own baseline.
So Wekiva leading by as many as 8 points. Leading now down to 4, cut in half, 1.5 before halftime. And stick around, you'll have to change the streams. But tonight is senior night at Mustang Arena. We will be honoring Pete Lewis and Jameric Hammond, class of 2022. And so Wekiva, and then of course after senior night, the varsity teams will take to the court. As the foul on Leesburg. It's on Christopher Jones.
Push called against Christopher Jones, his first, the team's fourth. Mustangs ball at the sideline.
So Wekiva will go back to work as we approach 1 minute. 15-11 lead. The turnover, and the second turnover, a couple passes scooped out of the air by the opposition. No dice, but doing rebound work is Longchamp. And Iron Unkind slides off, and Jean-Pierre snagging that loose ball. So 50 seconds remaining, opportunity for Leesburg to cut into that lead. They fell behind by 6 Lead got up to 8. And it's been between 2 and 6 ever since then. Opportunity to cut it down to 1 possession for a third time. That will not happen. As we come back the other way and slashing through the lane and drawing the foul.
Juju Johnson fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Jackets foul is called against number 4, Christopher Jones. That's his second personal foul, the team's 5th.
So Johnson will go to the line with the 4-point lead being held by Wekiva. And, of course, these are the first free throws that Wekiva as a team has shot during this game. So quick note about those 2 varsity teams. 2 teams that got off to rocky starts. A lot of it had to do with the fact that they had a lot of personnel turnover due to graduation. And both the teams have righted the ship. However, you could say they ran into a road bump in their last outings, both of them losing. So that'll be a matchup between 2 teams looking to regain that touch. As Leesburg gets the break with 2 missed free throws, they can't take advantage. And down the other way we come. Georges to Johnson, stop, pop, no drop. And we also have a stoppage. The rim snagging that ball.
Possession, Jackets.
So as you heard Mark say, that's Mark Barchi. I'm Neil Fisher. It was when the ball gets stuck in the rim like it just did there, and it looked like the rim was playing shortstop for a baseball team. It's a held possession. And with 10 seconds remaining, ball will remain with Leesburg. So inbound will be handled by Leesburg, and a whistle immediately with 8.8 seconds, a turnover.
Out of bounds, Mustangs ball.
So Wekiva dodges the proverbial bullet, and you can really say that about both teams, but Wekiva certainly has been more of a benefactor. One last opportunity, and score the deuce. Off the withdrawal for Thompson.
Basket scored by Philip Thomas, and that will be the last word of the first half. Mustangs out to a 6-point advantage at intermission. 17-11 is your score at the end of the second quarter here in the JV contest. We're going to take an abridged halftime, and then we'll be back with the second half in a moment. The Jackets have the opening possession of the third quarter. Juju Johnson scores the opening points of the second half. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher to take you through the second half of this JV contest. Held ball, possession Mustangs.
So right now the difference is the first 4 possessions. Wekiva scored 6 points on those first 4 possessions, going 3 of 3 from the field. An 8-point lead now as the lead was up on the first possession of the second half. And Longchamp getting that ball, spins around.
Spins a little too much, in fact. Traveling. Jackets ball.
So the turnover, and that's been the one weak area, the one area Wekiva's had trouble. That is until now. The open man there, Allen, who goes withdrawal off the long pass.
Allen for 2 in transition.
So now 8 turnovers for Wekiva. And remember, we are using only 5-minute periods. The game started very late. This is junior varsity action. Had a
Palming, Mustang or Jackets ball.
Had a snafu with the referee schedule. And now 9 turnovers for Wekiva. And Leesburg will go back to work, looking to cut that lead down from 6. They've trailed throughout this game from the second possession. 1-on-1. Back up to Jean Pierre. And he can't drop the deuce. Yeah, you're not unkind. And Leesburg will catch the break with another turnover situation where Wekiva probably outthought the room, thought too much, tried to get too fancy. And Leesburg, well, they execute the play properly and score the withdrawal for
Nathan Allen adds 2. 10 points in the books for him tonight. He has 2/3 of the total offensive production for Leesburg.
Johnson stop, pops short. And losing that focus, stepping out of bounds was Allen. So Wekiva back to work with the 4-point lead. The lead has gone back and forth between 4 and 8 points since that initial 6-point run at the beginning of the game by Wekiva.
Foul called against Jackets number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre, his second, the team's first of the half.
Off the rim. Feisty, a lot of action underneath the basket.
Yeah, Jean-Pierre muscling for the rebound. Not only does he get it, but foul called against the Mustangs number 10, his second, the team's first of this half.
So that'll cut the lead to 19-17. At the other end, though, floating in the deuce, Johnson. So we went a long period, about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. And again, remember, we're only playing 5-minute quarters tonight, with neither team able to drop any baskets in. And now on 2 consecutive possessions, they've gone in easily. No dice, the launch from number 1. Whistle out of bounds. Possession will remain with Leesburg, trailing 21-17. So stick around. Of course, you'll have to change the streams on YouTube. But we will have senior night following this game, and then the varsity teams will take to the court. That promises to be a good one as the inbound pass to Jean-Pierre, and he goes withdrawal.
Wilton Jean-Pierre, 2 more for the Jackets. That takes it back to a one-possession ball game, less than 2 minutes to go here in the third.
George is working one-on-one with Gardner. Now he gives the ball up, 1.5 remaining. Slashing through that lane, Simon. Hands back off to Georges. He's going to try the lane on the other side, the right. No dice. And a second no dice. Give Wekiva credit for the rebound, but they probably would have been better off to reset. Down at the other end. Ball tipped over, kept alive by Gardner, Jean-Pierre. And pickpocket, Georges just stuck his hand in. And now he's having his issues. In the long range, short. That was Simon. As we drop under a minute, 21-19 the score remains. Jean-Pierre stops up, and he can't get the dice. Off the mark on the right side, and this will be Georges leading the attack. 45 seconds remaining. Wekiva with the 21-19 lead in possession. So now Wekiva slowing that pace down in terms of the shot. Now they find the shot they like. No dice for Georges. And another long outlet. We've seen this a handful of times in the third quarter. This time Wekiva's prepared. They come back the other way. And we're going turnover for turnover now. With 16.6 seconds remaining. A lot of action up and down the court. About 6 possessions over the last 30 seconds. But no points put on the board. And when all said and done, the score remains 21-19. Wekiva will inbound the ball. That's Johnson. He finds Simon, who's one-on-one with Jones, and a whistle.
Block is called against number 4, Christopher Jones, his third, the team's second of this half.
So now 13.3 seconds as Wekiva maintains possession of the ball. Johnson going one-on-one, this time with Gardner. 7 seconds remaining. 5 seconds at the top of the key, and was looking to spin and move into the board, but a whistle.
Push called against Jermaine Gardner, his first, the team's third.
So that does take time off the clock. 3 seconds exactly remaining in the third quarter. Wekiva with an opportunity to go into the fourth with momentum. Johnson, and shot does not count. The whistle and the travel by Johnson right before the buzzer.
Traveling called at the buzzer, wouldn't have mattered. The shot did not go anyway, and so that takes us to the end of the third period. 21-19 is your score going into the final quarter of the JV contest. Back with the conclusion in a moment. The Jackets have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena, and I have been instructed by the powers that be to put 7 minutes on the clock rather than 5 for the fourth quarter. Part of that is because we have done a fairly good job of catching up, and the other part of that is because our seniors and their parents need a few extra minutes to get ready for senior night. So we'll get something at least a little closer to a normal period here to wrap up the JV game.
Yeah, if you joined us late, we had a very late start to this game. Originally scheduled for 5:30, we started after 6 due to a snafu with the referee scheduling. And we've gone about 2.5 minutes now, Mark, without a score. We've seen a lot of up and down action, but score remains 21-19. This is junior varsity action. Leesburg with possession in the black against Wekiva. Home team on defense. Mustang Arena the site. Wekiva's home court.
And this is the last regular season home game of the year. Of course, both the boys and the girls teams are hopeful that they will get an opportunity to host more as we get a 3 for Gardner.
Yeah, and of course the women, they finished their season at 20-2, ranked in the top 5 all season in Class 6A.
Foul called against number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre. That's his third, the team's 4th.
The girls ended the season ranked number 2. And they are also in the top 10 among all classifications all season long. Is score the deuce off the window for Thomas. Griffin.
Yes, that is 2 for Griffin.
Of course, the girls are also looking to get back to the state championship final for a 4th consecutive year and claim a 3rd state championship under Coach Butts. In the meantime, clanks off the rim. Allen with the shot, and Windex work will result in a foul.
Foul is called against Mustangs number 10, Chance Griffin. That's his 3rd, the team's 2nd of this half at the line, shooting 2.
So lead now down to 1, 23-22. Wekiva scored the first 6 points, building that lead on their first 4 possessions. They turned the ball over on the very first possession. An interception by Leesburg. Then they went 3 of 3, failing to miss a shot on the next 3 possessions. And the lead has alternated between 4 and 8 since then. And now they no longer have the lead, as 1 of 2 free throws results in a 23-23 tie.
Tyler Danke from Juju Johnson. 8 points for Danke tonight.
And Leesburg looking to answer, but the defense stiffens up for Wekiva.
Nice job had a nice play there.
A nice job inside. And the other way, 4-point lead. Yes! Stop, pop in, drop for a
Longchamp on the jumper.
So now Wekiva 4 in a row. And Leesburg will have an opportunity at the line to stem the tide.
Foul called against Mustangs. Number 4, Andrew Riley, his first, the team's 3rd. That sends Nathan Allen to the line, shooting 2 for the Jackets. Allen with 10 points. First one bounces off the iron. Back to a 4-point lead for Wekiva after the Jackets had it up to a tie ball game. And 1 for 2 at the line for Allen.
Yeah, he'll cut the line of the lead to 3 points. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi from Mustang Arena. 2 opportunities, and finally the 3rd offensive rebound draws the contact.
Foul called against Jackets number 20.
So 4:40 remaining. Wekiva, again, is yet to trail in this game. There have been 2 ties, of course, at 0-0 and then 23 all about a minute and a half ago. Since then, Wekiva scored 4 of the last 5 points to retake that lead. And now that lead back up to 5. And Leesburg will go back to work. Jean-Pierre handing off to Allen. Back to Jean-Pierre, 4.5 remaining. Sweeps through the lane. Jean-Pierre short. Right place, right time. Georges. And he leads the charge. Now drops that ball off to Johnson in contact.
Foul called against number 4, Christopher Jones. His 4th personal foul, the team's 6th. Juju Johnson shooting 2.
And as you just heard Mark say, who also is the only public address announcer the Wekiva Mustangs have ever known, Juju Johnson at the line. He is the leading scorer for Wekiva with 7 points. Nathan Allen, leading scorer overall with 11 for Leesburg. So second free throw on the way and sinks it. That gets the lead back up to 31-24. So far with 4 minutes remaining, I would characterize Wekiva's play as far from smooth and consistent execution, but good enough to take a lead and hold it.
Foul called against Chance Griffin, his 4th personal foul, the team's 4th. At the line shooting 2, number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre.
And Jean-Pierre will go to the line with 4 points. 4:10 remaining. This junior varsity action from Mustang Arena, home of the Wekiva Mustangs. Senior night will follow this game. We'll be honoring Jamerick Hammond and Pete Lewis, class of 2022. As the battle rages underneath, and offensive rebound results in another foul.
Foul called against Mustangs number 0, Tyler Danke, his 1st, the team's 5th. The basket by number 20 is good. He's at the line shooting for the 3-point play.
So Jean-Pierre exerting his body, making something happen, opportunity to get the old-fashioned 3-point play. And he takes advantage, drops in the free throw, and just as quickly as Wekiva got that lead up to 7, it's now back down to 4, 2 possessions, with 4:06 remaining. And Coach Hardy, Wekiva coach, says, I want a timeout. He calls for the timeout.
30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. We'll be back with the conclusion of the JV contest, followed by senior night right after this. Mustang Arena, 4:02 to go here in the 4th quarter. Mustangs holding on to a 31-27 advantage.
Wekiva has led since the second possession. They have yet to trail. They scored a deuce, the 2-point field goal. Wound up scoring the first 6 points. And since then, the lead has alternated between, for the most part, between 4 and 8 points. As the whistle, contact, and a turnover. So offensive charge, give the Wekiva defense credit. Didn't see exactly who drew the foul. And they'll go back to work as 3:45 remains. And unfortunately,
traveling, Jackets fall.
So we have senior night coming up after this JV game. And then after senior night, the two varsity teams will take to the court. And that should be a good one, a really good backstory for both those teams. As the ball comes loose, and Riley snags it. And we come back the other way. Short. So as Leesburg goes to work, approaching 3 minutes, scratch that. Georges picks the pocket, down the other way, makes the withdrawal, +1.
Juju Johnson and 1. Foul called against number 1, Jermaine Gardner. His second, the team's 7th.
Opportunity for Wekiva to get that lead back up to 8 points. 33-27 score right now. So that varsity game, you got two teams that came in to the season, got off to rocky starts as the scoop shot fade away, score it for Jones. Since then, though, really for the last month, the two teams have righted the ship, if you will, as the score will remain 4-point difference. Oh, George is showing some athleticism, look like the defensive back, and he takes advantage. The bank +1.
Solomon Georges and 1. Foul called against number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre. That's his 4th personal foul, the team's 8th. Solomon Georges shooting 1.
So with Georges at the line, opportunity to get that lead up to 7. Both those teams, as we mentioned, the varsity teams really righted the ship right around the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. However, they will be coming into this game. They lost some momentum in their last outing. Both teams lost. So certainly opportunity, both teams looking to regain that touch that they had that overcame that rocky start, as we have 2.5 remaining now. Jean Petit, the scoop, the shot, and the timeout called by Leesburg cuts the lead to 5.
How is it?
So 2:20 remaining when we return from Mustang Arena junior varsity action.
Wekiva's about to get an automatic turnover. There it is. Too much time on the inbound. That's a turnover. Jackets ball.
Wekiva with a 36-31 lead, 2:20 remaining. And certainly that's an opportunity to not only increase that lead, but pretty much take some more control of this game with only 2:20 remaining going by the wayside. So the long inbound, not the short inbound to Jean Petit. Tried to go with the traditional big man move, but the iron unkind, and give Simon credit for the rebound. Nice job from number 23, and so Wekiva back to work, launch. No dice. Jean Petit continuing to make his presence felt with the rebound. Dive. Johnson saves the ball, and Wekiva calls a timeout. 1:55 remaining.
Timeout Mustangs. Full timeout.
So a lot of action. Another stretch. No points are scored, though. Score remains 36-30.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchie here with Neil Fisher, ready to take you through the last $1.55 here in the JV contest. And the fourth quarter certainly lasting quite a bit longer than any of the previous periods, and not just because we added 2 minutes to the time.
Wekiva scoring on the second possession. That was the first of 3 consecutive field goals made, converted, and they have had the lead ever since then.
Fouls called against Mustangs number 3, Juju Johnson, his first, the team's 6th.
Wekiva's held the lead except for about a 30-second period early in the fourth quarter. Leesburg tied the game up at 23-all. And they continue to battle, though, with 1.5 remaining.
Foul is called against number 10, Chance Griffin. That's his 5th personal foul. And he retires from the game with 4 points for the Mustangs. Checking in for him is Philip Thomas. At the line shooting is Wilton Jean-Pierre.
And as you just heard Mark Barchi say, that's your other voice. He's also the public address announcer at Mustang Arena. Griffin is forced to retire for the night, fouling out. So Wekiva will have to go the last 93 seconds with Griffin, one of the starters. Also want to acknowledge the broadcast production department at Wekiva High School under the direction of Keith Dickerson. As always, they are handling the video aspects of this broadcast. And so now the full court trap. And almost pays dividends, but Wekiva continues to chug that ball up the court. And, of course, there will be no shot, but they do take some valuable time off the clock. 1:21 remaining. Senior night will follow the junior varsity game, and then the varsity teams will take to the court after senior night. The inbound, Georges will bring it out one-on-one with Jean-Pierre. 1:15 remaining in quick whistle.
Foul called against number 35, Wilton Jean-Pierre. That's his 5th personal foul, and he retires from the game with 7 points.
And so as you just heard Mark say, once again, the public address announcer at Mustang Arena.
Checking into the game for him will be number 4. And Solomon Georges is at the line shooting 1-1.
Wilton Jean-Pierre fouls out. He will come out with 73 seconds, 1:13 remaining. And that means 2 starters are now out of the game for Leesburg. But Wekiva unable to take advantage. No free throws. The other end, short, iron unkind, just not a good angle. Full court trap continues for Leesburg, and Wekiva breaks it 3rd consecutive time. And the foul, Boyd sticking his hands on Georges.
Foul called against number 3, Romarian Boyd. That's his first, the team's 10th. Mustangs into double bonus. At the line shooting 2, Solomon Georges.
So with 55 seconds remaining, the game in terms of whether Wekiva can secure the victory or not is going to come down to free throw shooting. Double bonus, as Mark just alluded to. for Wekiva. George is at the line looking to get that lead back up to 6, and success. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Leesburg's got to move the ball up quickly, and that was not in the plans. Johnson swiping the ball away, and he goes for the withdrawal on the transition opportunity.
Juju Johnson for 2.
And now an 8-point lead. Life has gone desperate for Leesburg. Long rebound tracked down by Simon. And do they foul now, or do they? Nope, they haven't given up, and they do get the turnover, but 15 seconds comes off the clock. And so give the deuce. Going withdrawal is Jones, so that'll stem the tide and help out. But still a 6-point deficit with 22 seconds remaining.
Nathan Allen scores the basket and will pause for a Jackets timeout. Full timeout called by Leesburg. Back in a moment.
Mustang Arena, the site. 22 seconds remaining. Wekiva with a 40-34 lead in possession of the ball. Obviously, free throws, fouls going to come up. Leesburg unable to foul, though. And now Wekiva doing a good job of taking some time off that clock. They were until the turnover. And score the deuce. Down to 4 points, 40-36.
Basket by number 3, and we'll pause for another timeout with 8.7 seconds remaining in the ball game, and the Jackets have closed it to a 4-point contest. Full timeout called by Leesburg.
So Wekiva forced into a couple of turnovers, and Leesburg taking advantage, giving themselves an opportunity, but a lot of time taken off the clock. Only 8.7 seconds remaining from Mustang Arena. Wekiva with possession and a 4-point lead, and the foul committed by Leesburg immediately as soon as the ball was inbounded. So now if you're Wekiva, certainly a couple free throws here from Juju Johnson. He has 13. He's the leading scorer along with Nathan Allen from Leesburg. Even if he doesn't get those 2 free throws, work is really long odds for Leesburg to win with only 8.3 seconds. If you're Wekiva, you just want to force them to take a few seconds off that clock to get the ball up. So the free throw drops for Johnson. He now has 14, is the leading scorer for both teams. A big picture, though, a 5-point lead. And second free throw, score it. And the 6-point lead. And now Leesburg with the long outlet trying to get points quickly, and they do. The clock's showing 1.9 as the range is found.
3 for Christopher Jones, and we'll pause for the final timeout taken by Leesburg. 30-second timeout called by the Jackets. So Wekiva just conceded those points. And they were like, well, we don't care. So they stayed in their timeout formation. They gave Leesburg the entire run of the court, and Leesburg is still playing this like a game they can win. They're gonna go out swinging no matter what.
Well, I didn't say the game was over. I just said the odds were long. But that certainly does change the complexion. And now the long inbound, and there's your whistle. 1.3 seconds remaining. And if you're Wekiva, one free throw should be all they need to secure this victory.
Jaden Mickens is called in his third personal foul. The Mustangs continue into double bonus. Solomon George is at the line shooting 2. So, I mean, credits to the Jackets. They're playing this like it's a championship game.
George is at the line with 5 points and can't get the first. They are unkind, so hope remains alive for the Jackets. Of course, they're going to have to get off a long tray. They probably won't be able to get it up to the line with only 1.3 seconds remaining.
Coach Hardy instructs his team to leave the key vacant, go all the way to the backcourt, and whatever you do not foul.
And that should secure the victory. George is dropping the second. There's the buzzer. And the difference, again, a 6-point run at the beginning of the game. Wekiva turning the ball over on the first possession, but then scoring on the next 3 to take that. So it's what we got coming up.
That takes us to the end of the ball game. A 4-point victory for the Mustangs here on senior night at the JV contest. 43-39 is your final score. We'd like to thank everyone for coming out to join us in person for tonight's game. Also, thanks to those of you who joined us on YouTube or the NFHS network. Don't go anywhere. Senior night festivities coming up next here at Mustang Arena. And then that will be followed by our headline event, the varsity game, to conclude the home portion of the 2021-22 season and wrap up season 15. Again, these will be on separate live streams, so same channel, different live stream. We're going to meet you in about 2 minutes on the senior night live stream. We hope to see you there, and then we'll be back for varsity as well in a moment. Thanks to Wekiva TV Broadcast Production for their contribution to the video aspects of tonight's program. For Neil Fisher, this is Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Orange County Public Schools in association with Orange Technical College and Wekiva High School.